I see trees are green, red roses too. What a wonderful world. Good morning, beautiful people. How are you today? Hope you're doing well. I'm deep in the middle of nature right now, in a forest in the mountains, in the French Alps. I am a huge believer in nature having more healing powers than anything else on the planet. Nature is the ultimate creator. Ralph Waldo Emerson always said the creation of 1,000 forests is in just one tiny acorn. And no disrespect to any human beings out there, but I don't think that I will ever see a human being more beautiful than a tree. I know we don't marry trees, and I know trees don't speak many human words, but for me, trees have more wisdom than anything on the planet. They hold space for the forest, they hold space for the creatures, they hold space for mankind, they provide us with our oxygen. Without trees, we couldn't survive. For me, there's no sight more beautiful than when you look down upon a forest from a mountaintop. Beautiful. All the different shades of green, all the different colours, the different flowers, the different blossoms, the different leaves, the different reds and browns. I think as human beings we've got so much to learn about trees. I'm sure that in years to come that mankind will discover that trees have far more healing powers than we ever thought possible. Right now we obsess about pharmaceuticals and creating all these vaccines for the virus. But there's already so many studies out there showing that merely looking at a tree through a window from a hospital bed will help to heal a patient. Every time I go out on a run or I go out on a walk, I really try and touch as many trees and plants as I can, and it almost energizes me immediately. I feel the different scents on my skin, I feel like I've connected with nature, and I'm sure that every tree and every bark and every blossom and every leaf provides a slightly different type of healing to us, but only if we send it love, only if we connect with it. Trees are surrounded by a sacred space. When you walk through a forest, it's like dancing through medicine. Just like water has incredible healing powers, trees remind us that life isn't about the rush. It's not about the rat race. It's not about getting to the next place on time. They remind us that time and space are irrelevant. They remind us to just be, to be present. They stand there so proudly. They accept everything that is thrown at them. They let the wind blow through their branches. They let the animals live in their space. They let the snow fall hard upon their leaves. And they go through this beautiful natural cycle. They don't moan about the weather, the seasons, the cold, the fact that some of their brothers are being chopped down. They don't moan about humans. They just sit there. They just stand there and soak up the sun or soak up the water through their veins. And they breathe. How they breathe. Their hungry mouths pressed against the earth's sweet flowing breast. The trees, they always have their heads to the sun. They constantly look at God. They lift their leafy arms to pray. And in summer, they wear so many nests where the birds can live. They embrace the rain. And I'm certain that in the next few months and years, after lockdown, after all this craziness has ensued, that there'll be lots of clinics opening which are in nature, which allow people who have led stressed out lives, people who lost focus and didn't understand the wisdom and the power of nature, will be able to take their tired minds into the forest, into the woods, into the wilderness, where they can nourish their overburdened spirits, their stressed out lives, and absorb the strength and the power of the trees and the hills and the mountains, of the plants and the birds and the colours and the oxygen. And then so many people will remember that nature is our greatest restorer, our greatest reminder of love, of how to achieve perfect health, of how to live our lives. My greatest memories of a child were camping in a tent, laying on the floor of Mother Earth, connecting, just being so close to nature, watching the stars at night, filling the sky, sparkling, breathing that beautiful fresh air that comes with living and camping in nature, lighting fires, playing music around the fires, singing songs, cooking our food on the naked flame. Again, it was Emerson who said that the earth laughs in flowers. And I would add to that it finds its peace in trees. Human beings may be partly solar powered. We may need our food to keep us going. But I think trees bring us sanity. They bring us calm. They bring us peace. And I know some of my friends used to laugh at me when I hugged the trees, but I have to say there's no greater feeling than connecting with a tree. The smell, just the knowing and the wisdom that the trees have gained from being on this planet for so long. If only trees had eyes, imagine the stories they could tell. The kings and queens they've seen pass by. I remember connecting with a tree at Kew Gardens in London, and while London isn't in the wilderness, Kew has got thousands of trees, some 1,000 years old. And I just remember talking with this tree and saying, "What have you seen? What can you tell me? What do you know?" And the tree said to me, "It's not important. You humans are so obsessed with intellect, but that's a different kind of wisdom to the one that the tree has, because the wisdom of the trees is in the stillness, is in the presence of the moment. The past is almost irrelevant. Yes, he'd been there and stood there 1,000 years. Yes, he'd seen 1 billion eyes pass by, 1 billion people walking and talking and fidgeting around. But for the tree, the wisdom is in making sure that its roots go deep into the earth, tasting the sweet nectar of life, having perspective, and understanding that life's not a procession, life's not an obsession with staying alive. When a tree gets cut down, it just accepts it. There we go, on to the next lifetime. When the storms come, the tree just embraces the lightning that strikes it. The pain is an opportunity. The pain is what's meant to be in that moment. The trees might have many secrets, but the truth is, the only thing they want to tell us is that right now we are living on planet Earth. And the best thing we can do is understand that everything is connected. Just like the tree has its roots connected to the earth, just like the tree has its branches pointing to the sky, absorbing the rain, embracing the sun, dancing in the wind. No branches fighting, not even looking at the other trees, just loving them and being part of the same one interconnected web of life. And that is the one major error that human beings are making, and that human beings have really made in the last 300 years, The abuse that we've given to the planet, which essentially, in the eyes of the trees, the wise trees, is like putting a gun to our heads and firing it. We're just constantly self-abusing. Because the planet is us, the earth is us, the forest is us. The mountains are us. The flowers are us. The oceans are us. We're all connected. When we kill the fish, when we overfish, when we put all this gunk into our oceans, when we fill our skies with smoke, when we chop down all our trees, when we kill the most beautiful animals on the planet, what are we doing? The trees are saying, what are they doing? They're killing themselves. They even laugh at the fact that we chop down our great forests, our great rainforests, our jungles, because they are the lungs of the planet, but not the lungs for the trees. They are the lungs for the humans. So we're wiping out the one thing that is providing us with our oxygen to keep going. And the trees have such perspective. They even know that when humans wipe themselves out, that also we breathe out carbon dioxide, which is what the trees need to survive. But the trees will go on, because they will find a way, because they always stay present. They always live in that great web of life, that great connection. But we don't understand. We don't get it. Of course, there's some people who do understand. But at the moment, the consciousness that prevails with human beings is a consciousness which is about the self, which is about the hierarchy, which is about the politics, which is about having the biggest, fastest, best, shiniest life we can. And the trees know that the indigenous peoples who lived many years ago, and who still live now, they're the only people who ever really got it. Our ancestors were way ahead of us, because they understood that we work in harmony with nature. We work in harmony with life, with the Divine Mother, with Pachamama. Life isn't about having the best job, earning the most money, and then go to church and asking for forgiveness and everything's okay because we're praying to some guy with a beard in the sky. That ship sailed long ago. And yes, finally, some people are waking up to the fact that the old man with the beard who lives in the sky is actually us. He lives in our hearts, or she lives in our hearts. She is our planet. She is the trees, the forests, the oceans, the stars, the fire in the volcano, the shudder of the earthquake, the dance of the birds in the sky, the growl of the tiger, the roar of the lion, the shell of the turtle, the perfection of the snowdrift, the silk of the spider web, the fire in your heart. She is our mother, she is our father, she is our sister, he is our brother. Right now we are truly honoured to be walking on this planet, beautiful people. I'm sat here in this forest and all I can see is beauty. I'm alive, I can breathe. I'm going to go home, I'm going to eat some food provided by Mother Nature. I can smell, I can taste, I can pray, I can be. I can walk, I can talk. These are the gifts that living on this planet provide us. And yet, the marketing world tries to convince us that life is about avoiding being sick by taking antidepressants, by taking pills. It's shutting our mind down when we feel mentally that we can't go on by taking antidepressants. It teaches us that we always need to be one step higher, to earn an extra 10,000, an extra 20,000, an extra 100,000, and yet all the surveys prove that happiness comes from somewhere else, and that is by living in the moment. That is by going deep, finding yourself, getting out in nature, looking after your body, being creative. Thank you so much for listening. I wish you a beautiful day. Love and peace from the forest. Peter. Namaste. I love you.